There were parts of the city that had changed since the attack. Surprisingly, there were just as many parts that looked untouched despite everything Korthal had done. Laric found himself drawn to the areas that had faced the most devastation, even though he knew that he probably should leave well enough alone.
"Why are you out here again?"
Laric glanced over to Malcolm, who was trailing behind him and looking at his father's ledger. Laric had stopped questioning his friend about why he had one of his father's ledgers or what he hoped to find in it. Malcolm, who was the son of one of the more well-regarded merchants in the city, was likely trying to see how he might help his father with his business.
"I'm just exploring,"
Laric replied.
"Is there a reason we're out here?"
Laric snickered.
"We? Well, I wasn't about to leave you alone out here. You know how lonely you get,"
Malcolm said. "I get so lonely," he said, laughing as he paused at a pile of debris. Some of the rock had been dragged into a neater pile. Most of the restorations had been done in places where it would be easier to rebuild, places where the structures had not been nearly so destroyed. Not out here along the edge of the city, however. They were far more damaged than the center of town.
"It looks like you have quite a bit going on there."
Malcolm waved a hand.
"It's just that my father is starting to make his preparations again. Now that things have gotten back to some normalcy, he seems to believe that I need to be working with him again."
"Why do I get the sense that you aren't so thrilled with that?"
"No, it's not that I'm not pleased that my father wants to include me in his work. I am. I had always planned on it, after all. It's just that I don't think that things are as back to normal as he does."
Laric had reached the edge of the town, and from here he looked out. He could hear the sound of birds circling over the quarry in the distance.
"I think it's just going to take some time," he said. "That's what everybody says. But how long?"
Laric looked over to his friend, but said nothing.
"I mean, how long before we can move on? How long before we stop cowering from any sound of thunder?"
Malcolm flicked his gaze to the gray sky. There had been quite a few storms lately, and the steely sky threatened more rain.
"How long before we feel like we can be safe here?"
"Talia has said that she's reached out to the Mage Council."
"And I realize that she has. I also realize that her reaching out to the Mage Council is no guarantee that they're going to send anybody."
"They did before," Laric said.
"Did they?"